Hey, welcome back to the channel, and in this video I'm going to be covering the 6 steps that you need to take to set up and establish an emergency fund. An emergency fund is something that you absolutely have to cover yourself in case unexpected expenses come up, and frankly, unexpected expenses will come up. They will happen in your lifetime. I guarantee it. It's going to happen, and that's what we're going to be covering in this video. So before I get started, let me tell you real quickly, my name is Austin. I'm here every day for you, bringing you videos, showing you how you can improve your personal finances, do more with your money, invest in stocks, save better, invest better, and just overall, just do it better so that you make more with your money, you prepare yourself for the future, and just helping you just to do better tomorrow and down the road. That's what my goal is. Real quickly, if you haven't already done so, please consider subscribing to the channel, and please drop a like on this video if you would. Dropping a like on this video actually helps my video to rank better and get the word out to even more people, so I would greatly appreciate it if you could help me do it by just hitting that little like button down there. Thanks for that. So with that said, let's talk about the 6 steps to building an emergency fund. Let's talk about, real quickly, I'm going to break down what you see on the board, and then we're going to actually get into the 6 steps. But before I do that, I want to give you a statistic. This is one that blew my mind when I saw it. Did you know that only 39% of the people in the United States right now have enough money to cover a $1,000 emergency situation? $1,000, a situation arises, their car breaks down, and it costs over $1,000. Did you know that only 39% of the entire United States population has the money to be able to cover that? That stat actually absolutely blew me away, and that's why I'm making this video, because I want to help you get on the path of having an emergency fund so that you are prepared for any type of unexpected emergencies that arrive. And let's begin there. So what are some emergencies? Number one, this is having cash. What is an emergency fund? An emergency fund is just having cash to be able to cover if you are unemployed. Like you lose your job, you didn't know you're going to lose your job, and you just are suddenly unemployed. That's what an emergency fund is meant to cover. That. Medical expenses. You suddenly have, or a member of your family suddenly has medical expenses, and you don't have insurance, or you do have insurance and you've got to cover that deductible, it will cover that. Living expenses. Something comes up related to living expenses. It could be in conjunction with unemployment. It could be in conjunction with medical expenses. But you have living expenses so that you can pay your mortgage, you can pay your rent, things like that. Let's say that you had something happen with your car. Your car breaks down, $5,000, $6,000 worth of car-related repairs, you can cover that. Again, the same thing applies to home. These are the types of things that you are looking to cover with an emergency fund, very simply. So you need the cash to cover these particular things, okay? Now, with that said, an emergency fund, there's all types of numbers out there, but here's what it really comes down to. You need 3 to 6 months worth of money to cover yourself, and how I think of that is to cover your total living expenses. So 3 to 6 months worth of money, cash, on hand to cover that. That's to everything to pay your rent, your mortgage, to groceries, etc., your electric bill, your phone bill, whatever it may be. You need 3 to 6 months worth of cash to cover that at a minimum. My wife and I have enough money to cover 1 year of living expenses, and we wouldn't even miss a beat. Okay, that's really our goal. Our goal is to get to 1 year. And so 3 to 6 months is a minimum, 3 is a minimum, 6 is better, and a little bit longer is even better, right? So that's what this is about. Emergency fund is to cover these types of expenses for 3 to 6 months minimum, period, okay? So why do you need an emergency fund? Simply put, if an emergency arises, you get unemployed, and you don't have an emergency fund in place, why? What are you going to do? That's why this why is here. What are you going to do? Are you going to borrow money at a high interest rate? Are you going to use a credit card at a high interest rate? Are you going to lose your house because you don't have the money? The why here is really the most important thing, so that you understand, hey, you understand that you don't want to borrow money. You don't want to be able to use your credit cards. Both of these are fraught with a lot of danger. You don't want to use high interest credit cards to live while you're trying to get back on your feet from some medical emergency, some expense emergency, you lose your job, You don't want to live on credit cards with very high interest rates and build up all of that credit card debt. You don't need that. That's why an emergency fund is in place, right? That's what we're talking about. Okay, so let's get into the 6 easy steps to building an emergency fund. Okay, they're going to take some commitment, but once you've done it and once you've got this emergency fund, it's there with you. It'll actually help you sleep better at night. Things will be a little bit better, okay? So number 1, you need to come up with, I'm going to say a dirty word here, you're going to come up with a budget to find money. I'm telling you, this is going to happen. You got to come up with a budget. You got to get yourself a budget app. Dave Ramsey's budget app, I think it's called Dollar Plus. It's actually free. I don't make a dime off of that. Just go check it out. He's got a really good budgeting app that you can use to get started on this. And you can hook it to your bank account, things like that. But the thing about what you do related to budgeting, guys, is it starts to shine a light on what you're spending your money on and where you can save money and you can find money to go in and fund your emergency fund, okay? So you've got to start there. Where are you spending your money at right now, and where can you cut expenses and find money to be able to fund your emergency fund? Now, not listed in my 6 here, but I'm going to really talk about it right here. I'm going to basically talk about potentially, I got to come up with a better way to say it, a side hustle. You might think about this. It's not one of the 6 steps, but it is something that you might want to think about doing. Get yourself some type of side hustle, short term, some type of extra, a way to make some extra money, things like that. I'm going to have videos on my channel talking about how you can do this, so check out those. They'll be coming very, very soon. Side hustles are something that you could look at just to help fund and get the money for your emergency fund, so you can speed up the time frame it takes you to get to your emergency fund. Okay, so your second thing here is, oh yeah, I have them written right. I've got notes, by the way. That's what you see me looking at. In your bank account, set it up where when the money comes in, it auto saves to the fund. So go into your bank account and create a free savings account, which you can do. It's easy. I have Bank of America. It's easy to do. You can go online and create a free savings account. It's very straightforward. And then what you do is when you get paid every 2 weeks or whatever it is, actually you can set this up if the money's automatically direct deposited, you can set it up where when the money hits your main checking account, you can have money automatically be taken out of your main checking account and going into your emergency fund, auto saving into that fund, okay? But this is where it starts, guys. This is almost like a pay yourself first scenario. In this scenario, you're paying yourself first to fund your emergency fund. I've got a video that I released yesterday on paying yourself first. Just FYI, that's also there, link in the description, okay? So check out and figure out how to get in your bank account and create yourself a savings account and have it auto save into that. When money comes into your account from your like your W-2, your W-2 job, things like that, it auto saves into a fund. Okay, then, and I wrote that in the wrong place. That's the second thing. Then after that, you want to increase the savings. So once you've kind of gone through this process, didn't expect to have to walk across here. I apologize, walk across camera. So you've got a budget, you've got an auto save account. You want to increase the amount you're saving. Figure out how to increase the amount you're saving. Either A, finding more money in your budget, B, getting yourself a side hustle, something like that, getting it moving forward, okay? So you want to save money that's unexpected. So basically what I'm saying there, guys, is that if you have money come in that's unexpected, let's say you get $300 from somebody, or you get, money just kind of comes in, or maybe you get a tax return, whatever it may be, save money that you're not expecting to get, save that money into your emergency fund, okay? Absolutely to do that. Now, once you've reached your emergency fund goal, and it might take you a while, by the way. Let's say it takes you 6, 7, 8 months, maybe a year to get to that number. Whatever those percentages are, and by the way, to reach your percentage, to reach your emergency fund, it's going to be a percentage of everything you've got coming in going into your emergency fund. Let's say that you're able to figure out how 20% of all of your W-2 money is going into your emergency fund. Let's just say that that's a scenario. And so let's say that that's $300 every 2 weeks. That's $600 a month. $600 times 12 months is, what is that, $7,200? I think that's right. Don't do math in public. That's $7,200. So if $7,200 was my 3 to 6 month minimum, then I've reached my goal in a year. Now, again, what could I have done to maybe get there faster? Maybe do a side hustle, save some unexpected money, figure out a way to increase my savings, maybe go from 20% to 25% that I'm saving from the money I've got coming in. I found some money in my budget that I can cut out and not spend, things like that, okay? So, number 5 is keep going. Okay, keep going. Remember, this is 3 to 6 months, right? 3 to 6 months. But 3 to 6 months is a minimum. We have a year, okay? Keep going. Keep funding this. Maybe once you've reached your goal, you keep funding this, you cut back on the percentage that you're allocating. So maybe instead of 20%, maybe it's 10%. But you are always kind of funding this emergency fund so that you can have even a little bit more buffer in case something unforeseen comes up. Don't stop once you've reached your goal of your 3 to 6 month minimum. Then 6, finally, potentially look at this. Keep in a CD. Now, I'm going to talk about this. There are videos all over YouTube that talk about the fact of you shouldn't have cash. You shouldn't be sitting on cash. And because the interest is inflation is going to devalue it. You should have it in investments and things like that. And I struggle with this. I'm just telling you straight up. I struggle with this because I think that here's the thing about emergency fund. You have to be able to get to the money quickly because it's for an emergency. So I think that this emergency fund is cash in your bank account if you can put it in a CD where you can get to that money instantly when you need it and not incur any penalties or anything like that, then at least you're making a few interest points. I haven't checked the latest CD rates, but at least you're making 1%, 2%, or whatever the latest rates are, and you're making some interest off that money. This is not necessarily a necessity. The key here is that you've got to be able to get to this money quickly because you need it for an emergency because it is your emergency fund. Guys, this is the 6 steps to creating an emergency fund, and ultimately the key here is commitment. The key here is that you do the work. The key here is that you actually save the money. The key is that you don't go halfway through this and give up. Because I'm telling you, worst case, what happens? What happens? If something unforeseen happens, and it will, how are you going to take care of yourself and your family if you don't have an emergency fund? Go back to the thing I said. $1,000 expense comes into somebody's life. Only 39% of the United States American population, that's over 400 million people. Now that's at least the latest number I know. I know it's over 400 million. Over 400 out of 400 million people, only 39% of them can cover a $1,000 unforeseen expense. Don't be one of those people. Cover yourself, cover your family. Make sure you're protected. That's what I'm here for, is to help guide you and just help you do better today, tomorrow, down the road. Again, my name's Austin. I hope you enjoyed the video. I enjoyed making it for you. I love making these videos for you guys because truly I feel like I'm helping you, and that's my goal, is to try to help you just navigate these waters a little bit better than you're currently doing and giving you that much more information so that you can make better choices and better decisions and more informed. Hope you enjoyed the video. Take care. I'll see you in the next video. Take care.